Hey dolls, in today's video, I am doing a first impression review of the new Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. This foundation claims to provide all-day brightening, 24-hour smoothing, 24-hour firming, 24-hour hydration, and evening out of the skin. It was created to revive tired skin, which as a working mom and with this winter month, I badly need. The cost of this foundation is 51 Canadian dollars and it's less than $1 of my favorite Makeup Forever HD foundation. The packaging is almost the same packaging as the HD foundation. The only difference is that this is slimmer. It has a serum-like composition, which makes sense as this is water-based, and I can compare it with MAC's Face and Body Foundation. So I'm not going to put any primers on my face. I just want to see how this foundation performs as is. When I went to Makeup Forever, the big difference that she told me about this versus the Makeup Forever HD is that this is water-based. So it really gives you that hydration on your skin. So it's not silicone-based, it is water-based. But what I usually find with water-based foundation is that they don't have that 24-hour wearability, which is being claimed by this foundation. So we'll see how this performs. I am in the shade Y244, which is a yellow tone, and since it's water-based, you can see that it's really dripping down and it's not holding its form too much. So I would say that it's more like a liquid foundation than a creamy foundation. So I'm going to start on the right side of my face. I already put 2 pumps on my Make palette. I like the smell of it. It smells like basil, but a perfumey basil. I love it. It smells really fresh. My face is usually oily to normal, but lately since I've been using this skincare line, I find that my face is not that oily anymore, and it's winter here, so I find it more on a normal to dry side. So I need this foundation because I really need hydration on my skin. I feel like with just 2 pumps, I already achieved that medium coverage. So this is the side without the foundation and this is the side with the foundation. And this is why I love Makeup Forever foundation. It's just like a second layer of good skin on you. You wouldn't see that much of a difference. It's just a very even tone. But you wouldn't say, oh yeah, she has a full coverage foundation. It looks glowy on this part, but not too glowy on the other part of my face. And I also find that it really looks thin, like it doesn't bounce back. And the big difference that I find between this and the HD foundation is that this really like sticks to my face. It's very watery, so it just doesn't have that bouncy look. Like, you know what I mean? When you have that HD foundation, like the light reflects back. This one just really masks your face and even out your complexion. But with texture, because I have big pores on my cheeks, I don't feel like it's helping because it doesn't have that reflective property. I don't know about you, but I love smelling anything actually, but more so I love smelling cosmetics. And cosmetics that smells awesome gets an extra point for me. So extra points for having like a very refreshing smell to this foundation. It's like basil and cucumber, like a very refreshing drink. So now this is the full coverage side and this side is without. So I can't see any redness on the side of my nose anymore. The hyperpigmentation here has been hidden. You can see one, but very minimal. And it really evened out my skin tone. And now that it's full coverage, I find that I can see more of the dewiness on my cheeks, on my forehead, right, than before. Let's put this on my left side. I obviously picked out a tone tone one shade lighter than my neck. So if you're my shade, I feel like you need to go one shade up. But don't worry, I'm just going to put bronzer on my face so it would look better. I don't know if it's just me, but when I was putting it on, it kind of feels cold. It kind of feels like it has a cooling effect on the skin. I don't know if it's because it's water-based that it's holding the temperature, but it really feels good on the skin. It really feels light. It's still a little tacky now. I love the glow. I love the glow on my cheeks, and it just looks like second skin. You wouldn't look at me and say, hey, you've got full coverage foundation on you. Like, it's not like that. The only thing that I'm bummed about is, first, I got the wrong shade, obviously. And second, even though it's dewy and it looks really good on the camera, it actually clings on the texture of my skin. I mean, even if it's full coverage and you can't see the flaws on my face, the texture is there because it's thin. It's a thin foundation. So I can see my pores on the side of my cheeks, and I can see like the creases on my forehead, like the dry spots there. But looking at the camera, I look glowy. Like, you know what I mean? So my first impression is like 50-50 about this foundation because I like how it looks, and especially on the camera, I love how it looks. I look dewy and glowy, but up close I just don't like that I can really see my pores. And I can also see how crepey the center of my forehead is because it's dry. So I am going to let this set, and I'm going to put my blush, my bronzer and everything, and I'll be back and see if some things will change. And then I will do the flash photography, the non-flash, and the natural. So I've finished my makeup, put bronzer on the side of my face, and left the center without anything. But I feel like it kind of oxidized a little bit because now it's kind of matching my neck. But the bronzer that I put is only on the sides of my face. So maybe Y244 is really my color during the winter. I just need to put bronzer on the side of my face. This is how the foundation looks like on natural. It doesn't have any flashback, although now I can really see that my neck has a different color than my face. It looks like I'm a floating head. Let's see it without the flash. Without the flash is so much better because it looks like my foundation is my highlight and then it's bronze up. But on the video and in person, I love what I'm seeing. The next test will be its wearability, so I am going to update you periodically. So on my 4th hour, I didn't see a lot of changes. Again, the texture is more prominent, but overall, the coverage is really good and nothing has really moved. On the 8th hour, it's not as glowy anymore. There's not a lot of coverage, and it caked up on the side of my cheeks where I have dryness and on the sides of my nose. So if you are planning to use this for a full 24-hour or full 8-hour, just have to make sure that you put on a good primer and don't skip on the finishing or setting spray. So here are my final thoughts. I'm giving this foundation a 3 stars out of 5. It feels very light on the skin and it looks very natural. It's also buildable to full coverage. And I find that this is great for an everyday wear. And if you like refreshing scents like me, you'll love it. Cons: it can really accentuate the texture on your skin. like your pores or the dry area on your face. It's also not that photo friendly, and I don't think this should be used for special occasion makeup. It can only last on your skin for a maximum of 6 hours. On the 8th hour, it would really just cling onto your dry spots, and there's not a lot of coverage anymore. So again, like with other foundation, I think you can work around it by having a good prep on your skin. Make sure you have a pore minimizing primer and set your face with a setting spray so it can last longer. I'm so torn with this foundation. It looks good in the naked eye, but on photos, it really accentuated my dry areas and my pores, which is in contrast to what they were claiming of hydrating and smoothing. I even asked my Instagram followers if they think my foundation is high-end or drugstore, and the vote was 50-50. Even my followers are torn. I would say that I would recommend this to people with normal skin, with little texture on their skin, people who just want to even out their skin tone. But if you guys have very dry skin, I wouldn't recommend this foundation. So that's it, dolls. I hope you find this video helpful. If it did, please make sure to like this video. On my next foundation review, I'll be reviewing my Dior Air Flash foundation versus my real airbrush foundation using an airbrush gun. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be updated as soon as it's up. Meanwhile, you can also check my playlist of foundation reviews for both high-end and drugstore. Thank you so much, dolls, for watching. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!